All right, so in the last tutorial, basically we set up our GUI, which is basically just this button and this text and stuff here. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go ahead and actually make this function so that when you click the button, something happens. This will involve a little bit of coding, but it's gonna be as minimalistic as I can until we actually learn how to code. But I think it's good to code a little bit of stuff, and then as we go through, when we actually cover coding, you'll be like, oh, that's why we did that. So we're gonna use a little bit of coding, and we're gonna do the best we can with what we got. Okay. So, first thing I need to do is if I hit play, what you'll notice is that like this thing's already going into like this animation, which is not what I want to have happen, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the camera, because that's my main concern right now. So I have that selected, and then I'm going to go to the animator. And if you remember, we have these 3 different moves, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new state, an empty one, and that's just going to be, we'll just say this is start, okay? And I'm going to right click and make this set as default, which means that this is where it's going to start. Okay. Then what I have to do is I want it to transition to this one. So basically it's going to start at start, and then it's going to go to this. Now currently, if I select the transition, you're going to see transition is 0.01 and basically has an exit time of 0.9, which basically means after 1 second, it's going to go into the animation. So if you watch, boom, and then it waits about 1 second. All right, a little bit less than. So that's just the default condition. It needs a condition in order to play this next animation, okay? And this is the transition to it. Now, we need to change that so that it happens when something happens, right? That there's a trigger for this. So I'm going to go down to the parameters here. I'm going to hit the plus, and we're going to make a new bool, okay? So float is number with decimal points. Int is whole numbers. Bool is on and off, and then a trigger is a trigger. But in our case, we just need a bool, and I'm just going to call this next, okay? Just like that, boom, and I'm going to go over my conditions, and I'm saying next, and we're going to say when it's true, that's when it goes to this next thing. So now you'll notice if I hit play, it's not going, okay? But if let's see if I can tear this off and interact with it. So you can see it keeps playing the same animation, but as soon as I put this on true, then it's going to go to the next thing. And you can see after that, we have a problem of it, again, doing that thing where it goes to it and then it doesn't hold it. So I actually got to make more keys than that. So I'm going to turn that off. But you get the basic idea. So I'm going to go ahead and I think move 2 goes, well, and then from this one, we're going to make another transition to this one. And basically, we'll just hit play. Okay, it's going to go, oh, that didn't hurt next. Let's turn this on. See, it's just going to go right from one to the next. And it's just going, okay. So we need to, I'm going to delete that for now. And pause this. Okay, so I need to make some more animations. I need to make like a 1B here. So what I'm going to do is, I got camera move 1. I'm just going to take this key and copy it. And I'm going to make a new clip, create new clip, and we'll call this, it's going to go into animations, and it's going to be camera move 1B. Save, and I'm just going to control V to paste, and it should be, I can't really tell here. Let's go scene, and it should be nothing. Good. Looks like nothing's moving. Can't really tell. Yeah, okay. Good. So that'll be 1B, and then I'm just going to make a couple more clips for each one. So I'm going to go to camera 2, and I need to do the same thing. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to copy that, Control C, and we're going to make a new clip, animations, and this will be camera move 2B, save, and I'm just going to Control V to paste. Which is good, doesn't do anything. Alright, and then I'm going to go to number 3 here, which is basically this. I'm going to copy this one, the ending keyframe, and I'm going to make a new clip, and this will be animation 03B. Save, and I'm just going to paste that, and you can see it scrub it. Good. Okay, so now I have all the ones that I need. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my animator, and here we go. So I got start, which is going to go to camera move. Then from camera move 01, I'm going to do camera move 01B, make a transition from this to this, and it will just go from here and then end up here, which is cool. And then from this, I'm going to have that make a transition to camera move 2, because after camera move 2, it's going to, all right, sorry about my kids. All right, so, and then that's going to go to 2B, which is the paused version. So make transition to there. I'm going to go like this. All right, so, and then from that, it's going to make a transition to 3. Let's try that again, make transition to 3. And then 3 is going to go to make transition to this one. Okay, so it's going to go don't. And that's basically how it's going to work. And that's all great. I'm going to turn this off. Okay. Yay. So now if I were to play it, you're going to see it just doesn't do anything. Well, see, I got to put this on. If I check this on, it's going to go to here. And it's just going to go right down the line. It's going to go from one to the next, which I kind of missed it. But because I didn't do anything for this to the next one. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this I am going to change this to next 01. And then we'll see. So so from start to this is next 01. Good. Then I want to go from this to the next thing. I'm going to make another parameter, and it's going to be another bool, and it's going to be next 02. 02. And we'll make another parameter, make it a bool. It will be next 03. And we'll make one more, and it will be another bool. And this will be this will be quit. Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna make this one's is gonna be next 02, and then from the next camera to the next one is gonna be next 03, and then actually we don't even need the quit in here, but that'll be in there anyway. Okay, so good. So I have that all set up, and these are basically. What's going to happen is when I write my code, I'm going to say when this button hits, change basically this next to on. That's basically what the code's going to be, okay? All right, so, go in the game here. All right, so what I need to do is make a script. So to make that script, I'm going to right-click over here, create, and I'll make a JavaScript. And I'm just going to call it Animator Controller, all right? Make sure you capitalize it with the first one, and then we're camel case. Every other letter is, or every other word is capitalized. Now, if you double click on it, it will automatically open it up. Now, hopefully, if you guys have MonoDevelop downloaded when you did it, that's fine. You can do it in any text editor. It really doesn't matter. I mean, don't use Microsoft Word. But if you have this, that's great. If you don't, I like to use this one. This one's Sublime Text. It's free to use, but you can pay for it too. But you can also use Dreamweaver. I had students using Dreamweaver because Dreamweaver writes in Java. The only difference is how it highlights the text, really. Okay. I'm going to explain kind of what we're doing while we're doing it, but I'm not going to go too crazy into this. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually have a variable that's going to hold the information about, so camera anim. Okay, that's going to actually hold the animator of each one of the things that we need to animate. Okay, so basically this is the connection that when I say to turn it on, it's going to turn on this variable. Okay, and that is going to be an animator. All right, that's the type. So this means it's a variable, which means it's like an object that I can control. And I'm going to call it inside this code, I'm going to call it this. And the type of object it is an animator. Okay, and then I had to put a semicolon. It's like the period of every sentence when you do code. Okay. And we actually don't need, now there's built-in functions like start. That means when this code starts up, it's going to automatically do this. Update means it updates on every visual frame. We don't need any of those. We're actually just going to make our own. So I'm actually going to delete these out. Oh, I'm going to do another variable too, a variable, and we're going to call this character anim 01. And this is going to be another animator. Okay. And I got to make one for each one of the characters. So there's 4 altogether. V, enter, control V, enter, and control V. And so we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which actually, I don't even have the character in panel 2. But we'll just do it like that anyway, just so it's set up, because I don't know how yours is going to be. All right, so then we need to make our own function. So a function is basically just a collection of code that can be called. All right. So we're going to do a function, and we're going to say animate and you got to capitalize it. So it's always written like this, and it's always starting with a capital letter. Animate panel 01, I'm going to call this function. Okay, so that way I know what it does. And then I'm going to put 2 parentheses. You can send it arguments, meaning like let's say I had a function and it's supposed to add something for me. What I could do is I could call that function, but unless I tell it what numbers to add, it doesn't know. So that's why you put those in there. In this case, we're not passing it anything. And then I'm going to do these brackets. Basically, everything that exists inside of these brackets are part of this function. So this is basically the typical thing. All right, and this is going to be a really easy bit of code. I'm going to tab. You want to tab in for, they call it like nesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call camera anim, which is the variable I made up here. Okay, and I'm going to set that bool. So this is called dot notation, so set bool. Basically the idea is that this camera has different components, different values and things underneath it. So this is an animator thing. So one of the built-in things is that I can turn that bool on and off. There's also like set active, there's a bunch of them. This is just like a function of a subcategory of something that's built in this, okay? So that's what the dot stands for. It doesn't make a lot of sense right now, it'll make sense later on. And then we're just going to say the variable I want to change is that next 01. I think that's what I named it, right? Basically, I'm saying on that, I want to set this next 01, which is currently off. I want to set that next 01. That's the name of that trigger, that parameter, and I want to set it to true. Okay? Oops, true. Bam, bam. All right? That's basically it. So, now, what that's going to do is it's going to just animate the camera. So I'm just going to save it, hit Control S, pop Unity back up. It'll automatically update. Sometimes it takes a second. And then I'm going to go to, okay. So now the thing is, if I hit play, nothing's going to happen because that script is in there, but it's not actually in our scene yet. It's just here. So I got to attach it to something. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create an empty object, and I'm just going to call it scripts. I'm just going to attach all my scripts to this, and that way it's easy and I know where they are. You'll see later on you can attach a script to anything. And I'm just going to take this, I'm going to drop it in here, and you can see all of these things. So these are the variables that I made. I can now attach things to them. So it's looking for my camera anim. I'm just going to take my camera and drop it on there. That's the animator that I want this one to control. Okay, so that's the link from this over here. So I just clicked and dragged it into this. That's the link into my script to the controller. Okay. Good. So now that's attached there. Now what I need to have happen is this. I need to attach that script to this button. So what they have is by default, and there's other ones as well, they have on click, which means that when you push down and let go, that's a click. So right now there are no functions attached to this. So what I'm going to do is I have the scripts. This is the object that would have the scripts. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to drop it on here. And then inside of that script, I have an animator controller. If you remember, that's the name of the script. And then right in here, I have animate panel 01. Boom. So now what's going to happen is that on click, it's going to run this function. And you're going to see this is what it does. So it goes like that. And then if I click this, it animates the camera. Okay? And it's not going to keep doing it because it's already been done. And that's basically, that's a simple kind of overall script. But we need to do the other things as well. So I'm going to go back to this script. And I need to attach the animator of the second character. So, which I don't remember which one it is. Let's go to scene. And I'm going to zoom in here. Whoops. Come back. All right, and you are, not that one, this guy. Okay, it's the top one. All right, so I got to attach that to this script here. So I'm going to, oh, it's not going to, all right. I got to open it up. So, back, where are you? Scripts. And there we go. I got to attach the waist because that was where, that's the one that actually has the animator. I did that. And I'm going to pause it here, and then I'll continue on with the scripting in the next page, okay? Or the next video.